Netherrealm screwed us both over.
Then we are of the same mind.
Road trip.
Round 1. Fight.
Hey guys, Joser here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. So this time I have a brand new monitor by BenQ. This is the EW3280U. They just released this monitor. This is a 4K HDR 400 with an IPS display and also features FreeSync just in case if you have the Xbox One or an AMD video card. So let's check out how this monitor works with the Xbox One X. We're gonna connect it, play some games. I'm gonna check out the settings. I'm gonna share you my picture settings that I'm using. So if you're interested in this monitor, welcome to the channel. Let's start this video. Let's do this. Alright guys, so first off, let's check out how this monitor works with the Xbox One X. We're gonna go into the settings. I did notice that Microsoft updated the operating system or the menus right here on the Xbox. So we're gonna go into general and then TV and display options. And right here, as you guys can notice, this is a 4K monitor. So you do have the option of 4K, 1080p or 720p. Unfortunately, we don't have the 1440p with 120 Hz of refresh rate because this is 4K limited to 60. If you want something with 1440p and 120 Hz, check out my other video that I did on the I think it's the EX2780Q monitor. That one, it has higher refresh rate, but it is limited to 1440p. So check out that video. I'm gonna leave a card so you guys can check it out. So okay, so over here we're going to go in advanced video modes, and then you guys can see everything. Well, most of it has a check mark. 50 Hz, 24 Hz, variable refresh rate or FreeSync, allow YCC 422 and 4K HDR10 as well. So I have pretty much almost everything. And then let's go and check out 4K TV details, and everything has a check mark except Dolby Vision. This monitor does not support Dolby Vision. I believe fidelity number. Okay, so over here I have a 30-bit or 10-bit video fidelity. These are the settings that I'm using. You guys can try them. Of course, as always say, you know, try the settings that works best for you. All right, guys, I also connected my Play Bars, my Philips HUE Play Bars. You guys can see in the back, and they also change depending on the what I'm watching. Right? You guys notice that? I like this. So I have a video showing how this works with the Xbox. I'm gonna leave another card right here just in case if you guys want to see it. It's a pretty old video, but still looks pretty cool. So let's go jump into Halo because this game looks fantastic. So let's go into the quick play. All right, guys. So my first impression on this monitor, that it looks beautiful. The colors look very vibrant, and that's what I like about monitors. You know, that you want good brightness and also colors to be very, not very, but saturated. So obviously this is an IPS display, so colors look very good in IPS display. And this monitor also has 95% of DCI-P3 color coverage, the color space. So obviously it's going to look very, very good and vibrant. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this monitor is limited to 60 Hertz, so it's good for this generation of consoles. I'm not sure about the new one, but if you own the PlayStation 4 Pro or the Xbox One or the Xbox One X, this is a very good monitor for that. Oh my God, Jesus. So another thing I love about this monitor is the control feature. This thing has a remote control, just like a TV, and you have access to pretty much everything, every single feature, like volume, like you can change different ports, you can change to also set up your HDR, settings, brightness, everything. I love this remote controller. Now obviously you also have controller options in the back of the monitor, which are also very intuitive to use, very easy to use. So I love that BenQ thought of all these little details. Now another thing I like about this monitor is the HDR feature. Now I don't know if I mentioned, but this has HDR 400, which is the entry-level HDR. And obviously, you know, there are better monitors out there with HDR 600 or 1000, but trust me guys, HDR 400 is bright enough, especially if you're sitting so close to the monitor. I always have suggested that HDR 400 or even 600 look great. If you want to go for a higher brightness levels like HDR 1000, I suggest to just go buy a TV, because first of all, those monitors are ridiculously expensive, like $1,500 for a 27-inch, just because it has HDR 1000. So if you want to spend that much money, I would just go for a TV. Definitely a TV is going to be much brighter and much better. But if you don't mind that, HDR 400 still works great. I'm going to show you also the different types of HDR this monitor has. Now, for this example, in this game doesn't support HDR, right? So let me see if I don't get crashed right here. But let me show you the different types of HDR. So I'm using the remote controller. Check this out. This is how easy it is to access everything. So as you guys notice, right now it's turned off. So I'm using SDR. But if I want to use HDR, I just simply go up. Now this is obviously not native HDR. This is emulated HDR. But look what big of a difference this makes. Check out the contrast. The colors do look much better. There's also a game HDRi and also cinema HDRi. So cinema is of course for movies. Game is of course for gaming. And display HDR is just a regular emulated HDR. Now the difference when it says HDRi, it means that the HDR is going to, or the colors is going to be adjusted depending on the brightness of the room that you have, or depending on the ambient light that you have. So for example, if you're in a bright room, you notice how this is going to, I noticed just right now that the whole picture got a little bit dimmer. That is because I'm in a dark room. Now if I was to have a brighter room in here, well then the picture is going to get a little bit brighter than this. So it's going to adjust depending on the room, ambient light room that you have. So let's change this to display HDR. Now I just noticed that it got a little bit brighter, and it's going to stay that way. So if you like that, you can just leave it like that and enjoy a beautiful bright picture. Alright guys, so now I'm going to be playing a native HDR game. This is Mortal Kombat, and of course this game looks beautiful, looks fantastic. So when you go into the HDR settings, you guys notice that now it has the display HDR. You can also have, oh my god, you also have access to HDR game HDRi or cinema HDRi. But like I said, if you want to keep the brightness regular brightness or the best brightness you can, just leave it a regular HDR, the native HDR from the game. It looks fantastic. Beautiful colors, guys. I mean, this is an IPS display, so obviously you're going to have beautiful colors. Now, one thing I do notice about this monitor, and it's not just this monitor, it's pretty much overall every single IPS monitor that I have tested, the contrast or the black levels are not that great. You know, even though HDR does help, does improve the black levels, but I do notice some blooming, especially like at the bottom of the screen or sometimes on the top. It's just the black are not black, they're more like a dark gray. You see a little bit of blooming, but that is just an overall how IPS this reacts. You guys notice on this type of the screen right here, you can see all the blooming, but trust me, when you jump into a picture where it's bright, where there's a lot of colors, especially games like this, Mortal Kombat, they do have a lot of colors, beautiful bright colors. So everything is just pretty much all the contrast you forget about it is colors are what is more look so much better in this IPS displays. All right, guys, so let me show you a little bit of the menus or settings that you have when you're playing HDR, because it does change a little bit. So I'm gonna press right here and then picture. Now you do have access to contrast. You can change the contrast. Of course, the more contrast you have, the brighter image is going to get. So I find it that with this setup around 60, the value is 60, it looks good in the contrast. If you increase the brightness, you're also going to increase the blooming, so you don't want that. You also have access to sharpness. Now these games are running mostly a higher resolution like 4K, so you don't need to add an additional sharpness to this kind of games, but I just left it at 7. I feel it looks good. Over here in advanced, you have display mode. Of course, I'm using full display mode. Overscan, I don't use that. And then let's go over here, super resolution. I don't use that. That is for low resolution. And then smart focus on this projector. Now, smart focus pretty much is going to, focus on a specific, area of the picture. You can use a large or a smaller version of it. Of course, I don't need that. And that's it. I don't have access to brightness. That's just how it is. Over here in color, of course, I'm using the HDR. Oh my goodness. Pew pew. Alright guys, so that's it for this video. Thank you so much for stopping by. And of course, this is not going to be my final review just yet. This is just like the first look of this monitor with the Xbox One X. On my next video, I'm going to connect it with my PlayStation 4. I want to see how it looks, how it works, especially because I have the regular PlayStation 4. So I am wondering how the upscaling is going to look when it's going to upscale from 1080p to 4K, right? So I wonder how that is going to work, and also with HDR. And then on my next video, I'm going to connect it with my PC to see how it works, to see if it works with the NVIDIA G-Sync, because I do have an NVIDIA GTX video card. So, and then I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison with a VA panel monitor. So if you're interested in seeing more about these monitors, make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. Also, let me know if you have any questions, if you want to see a specific game that you want me to test, and give you my opinion on how it looks and how it works. So there's going to be more videos about this, and then after that I'm going to put together my review of this monitor. Alright guys, so if you're interested in buying this monitor, I'm going to leave a link in the description of the video. It's right now, since it's brand new, it's selling for $700. I know it's a little bit pricey, but BenQ always has sales on these monitors. So check it out in the description of the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any of my upcoming videos as well. Alright guys, I'm Jolster, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Jolster out. Ooh, I haven't played this game in a long time. Very good. Let's do this.